We're live at New York Comic Con, and I'm sitting with, well, none other than Todd McFarlane.
Hey, thank you.
The legend.
Thanks.
The legend. Right over here.
Thanks for having me today.
Are
Appreciate
you kidding me?
Right,
Man, I'm happy you have the time
sure.
to sit and talk to us for a little while.
Yeah, sure. We're here. It's
You
a
have-
convention.
it's
If I look at these people, it's going to be the first time they're going to sit down for
All
4
day.
days.
4 days, right.
This is a good time for them.
Man, it's exciting stuff for you. I just saw all the news for Spawn. You've been doing some stuff, man.
Yeah,
the new stuff.
Well,
People are hollering.
No.
What's going on? What's
that
happening?
Spawn stuff took 25 years to bake, right? So
I'm
it
talking
took
about
a while.
the new
Right.
version, the new stuff.
Yeah. So we've got. I mean, look at the big news, which is coming. Which again, we made the announcement at San Diego, which is the movie that I'm going to write, produce, and direct. Right. So after years of. Thank you.
Yeah.
Here's what happened. After years and years of me talking about it, right, and boring these fans, they're going, yeah, Todd, we'll believe it when we see it, including my wife. That eventually.
Did anyone believe in you? Did you have any, but beyond yourself, did you have like anything?
No. You know what it was is because I've got my comic books and I've got my other businesses and I've got a family and I do a lot of coaching and I do a lot of other things and I've got a social life. I just never made it like the priority. So I do it 2 pages here and 2 pages there. And if anybody's ever written before, it's tough to start and stop because half the time is just getting started again, right? It's going like to the gym. Now you got to stretch again, right? So I just didn't make it a priority, and my wife was kind enough to rent me this little room that she goes has no internet and just only one switch, and you won't get distracted because she knows I have ADD. And she goes, and you're going to just finish this script. And I finished the script in February. But again, everybody's got a script. I'm sure lots of people who have a script. So we had to actually then do the thing that would then make it real. And the announcement at San Diego was getting Jason Blum of Blumhouse Productions.
That's one of the best production houses, man. They make dope stuff.
Right. And so for people who don't know, his last 2 big movies were Get Out and Split. And right now he's currently helping M. Night Shyamalan on Glass, right? So, and he's part of The Purge and Insidious and
all that
Paranormal Activity. All this. And 2 things that were good about that. One was when I keep saying it's not going to be a superhero movie, right? I can now point to Jason and his sort of track record and go, like those movies, right? Like that's what I'm making, right? If you like what Jason's been making for the last 8-10 years, it's going to be in that vein. And it also then gave the street cred that you went, if he's involved, we're making a movie. So we're making a movie. It just it just now you're in the boring process of budgeting right now, and then collecting a little bit of money, and we'll be negotiating the distribution deal. The next big news for the fans will be
it's a rom-com.
Will be when we do that's the news.
Spawn is a rom-com.
Yeah, I've changed my mind, will be that once we make the distribution deal, there will be a day, and then we'll be able to go. Here's the day you can now circle, right? Doesn't mean it's going to be good or bad. Just means it's coming, there's the day. And then from there, you hire all the actors, get into pre-production, and then we start shooting. So Jason and I would like to begin shooting like around February, right? So pre-production right after Christmas, let everybody do their Christmas thing, and then get into it, and then let's go. And like I said, I'm directing it.
Yeah, you are directing it.
I am
That's
directing
right.
it.
Okay,
right,
so
sure.
And you said it's going to be super dark, right?
Right.
Not like just a curse word.
Right. And here's the thing that's interesting.
I want to know.
Let's go back to directing, though. Let's go to directing.
Okay.
You guys know that, like, how many saw Get Out? How many saw Get Out? How many like Get Out, right?
Yes. One of the best movies of the year.
Okay, that was done by Jordan Peele. For people who don't know Jordan Peele, he's a comedian. So you can imagine what Hollywood said to him, right?
Yeah, you're crazy.
I'm a comedian.
What are you doing?
I've got this dark idea, and I'd like to write and direct it myself. Are you out of your mind? And so eventually, Jason got together with him. They cobbled the money together. They made that movie for $3.5 million. That movie was made for $3.5 million, and it grossed over, $300 million globally.
It was a big hit.
Globally, right? Even Split was only done for about $12 million.
Really?
And that one ended up doing another $300 million. So you got 2 movies combined, $15 million, $600 million gross, right? And so Hollywood is now saying, we need more movies like this. And then you get stuff like Annabelle that comes out at $40 million opening, and it not only broke the record for horror and R-rated, it just broke the record for R-rated period.
Really?
At 123 million. Right? The old record for a horror movie was like, or a scary movie was like 47,000 opening, or 40 million, and they thought maybe we can get 50, 55, and they got 123, right? It's now the largest R-rated opening in the history of film, period.
That's crazy.
Forget what the genre is. So there is this opening, and then you got the success of Deadpool, you have the success of Logan, you have Venom.
Right.
I know the guy.
Yeah,
he's
you
coming,
might.
he's coming out. Tom Hardy's attached to another R-rated. So there's this window of opportunity, and I go, it's
This
time.
is the perfect
it's
time
time.
for that.
I've been waiting. Boom. Now you go. All right, and hopefully it'll work out.
That's so awesome, man. Wow. I've been waiting a long time for whether there's a fly flying around here.
Oh.
Yeah, so yeah, actually that's how excited I am to see that there's going to be an
Phantom
actual
Fly.
dark.
So excited.
Yes.
And there's actually a dark version of Spawn. Well, how do you feel about the one in the 90s? Do you still love it? It was
no,
whatever.
Look, it was okay. It wasn't my money. Let me just be clear. When I'm not spending the money, you're not spending your own money,
Okay.
and somebody's putting in all the cash, they get to actually create the rules, right? How do I know that? Ask your mom and dad, right? Remember when they said you're going to be home at 11? I pay the rent on this house, right? You want to do it your way? You go. Remember, we've had these conversations.
Yeah, of course, I've had these conversations. We've never had these conversations. It would have been really interesting if we did.
So as a businessman, I understand. You put in 100% of the money, you get 100% of the say.
Okay.
If you ask my opinion, thank you.
Right.
So if you're asking me, would I have changed some stuff on that film? Of course I would have, right? And they asked, they never listened to it, but I go, okay, fine. But it's their money. They made the choice. There was some cool stuff in it. It wasn't a single. It wasn't a home run. It was about a double. It was okay. It was ahead of the superhero curve. But to me, like, that was 20 years ago. And the character, it's funny. People come up to me and they go, you're going to do an origin story? No. You're going to have the clown in it? No. You're going to do, no. It is going to be a real movie
Okay, all right.
with one fantastic thing in it. Spawn.
Oh, okay.
I was like,
What are you?
I was going to say,
And
one
cupcakes, like,
fantastic
And
thing.
here's what gets weird to me, is that they go, hold a sec, Todd. How can this possibly be? How can you do Spawn and it be the only fantastic element? And I'm going, this is easy, because there's thousands of movies that have been made like this. You're thinking like action movies and superheroes. I'm thinking creep and horror, right?
Okay.
So, because even I remember when I used to go into the studios and I say, and by the way, Spawn never utters one word, right? Now there's a mechanism for him to talk, but not him. He's not even a man in this.
Okay.
He's a force of nature, and so.
This is interesting, man. Wherever you're going with this
when
one.
I go, he's not even going to talk. I remember a couple big executives. I sat there and they went, so you're saying, Todd, these are smart men, and they go, so you're saying you're going to do a movie called Spawn, and he doesn't talk. How is that possible? And I went, wow, I could give you 100 examples, but I'll just give you one. It was this movie I saw when I was a little kid. Maybe you saw it. It was called Jaws. Now, I don't know if you remember, that guy didn't talk a lot. And he actually was the title character. And if you go to The Ring, and if you go to The Grudge, and if you go to John Carpenter's The Thing, and if you go to these movies, they all are the title character. And none of them go, I am the boogeyman, I am the monster, and I am here to scare you. And this is my origin story. No, they leave that to everybody else. Why was the shark in Jaws 25 feet big? We don't know.
Because he didn't talk.
Because she didn't talk.
Right, he didn't waste his energy.
What was the motivation of The Thing and John Carpenter's The Thing? I don't know. Where did he come from? I don't know. What was the name of the planet? I don't know. I don't even know why he was taking over bodies. It was just cool shit.
Yeah, it really
right?
was. Yeah.
And at some point, why do we need to sit here today and say we have 3 Fantastic Four movies and they're all origins?
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. I would just do cool flame stuff, and I'd do some cool action stuff with it. So to me, I just want to just creep people out. And here's the thing that I get to do. I had to make it small. Couldn't be a big extravaganza. They would never let me direct it. So I had to make it small. And unlike Superman, and unlike Batman, and unlike Spider-Man, that will then fight Lex Luthor and the Joker and Doc Doom, and at the end just go, stop it, stop it, stop. I beat you up, and now here are the cops, and go away. And then in 2 years, I'm going to fight you again.
Right.
Spawn
he
doesn't do
breaks
that.
out.
Spawn doesn't do that. Spawn's just going to come and just go, and he will fuck you up.
Okay.
And so, he's not limited by anything. So if you want to be evil and you want to deliver 11 evil,
right.
12, put whatever number you want to it. To the innocents, he will turn it on you and go, you're going to deliver 12, I'm going to give you 14,
So
and I don't care.
It's going to be gory, right?
Not gory.
Just done right.
No, look, when I was a kid, another movie that made an impact on me was Jacob's Ladder.
Okay.
Right? And
Yeah,
there
that
was
messed
things, I
me
don't know if you
up,
guys...
man.
Right.
That messed me up bad.
I am over 50, and
Right.
it still haunts me. There are images that I walked out of there once. What
Yeah.
was that?
Hellraiser was also pretty graphic too, though.
Not see, I don't.
You just want
I don't care about the. I don't
the
care about the
psychological
gore.
element of
right.
it. Yeah.
Here's my victory. Here's my victory. I think. I'm hoping.
Okay.
If I can get some of these people to go to the movie, and I hope some of you will go.
He's going.
And you come out. You're going. The guy with the swan shirt, right? And mom. Thanks, mom. That if you go to it, and I can get some people to walk out, and as they're walking out, they just go,
"Whoa,
dude, that was messed up." That's the victory. And the reason I don't want to do Spawn #1 is because it's 25 years later, the audience is older, I'm older. To go back to that frozen moment doesn't make any sense. The reason corporate America, corporate comic books do that is because Stan Lee isn't still writing the books. If Stan Lee was still writing Iron Man, I bet you he would have evolved it in a different fashion, because he would have sat like all of us creatively going, I can't do this same story for the thousandth time.
Yeah.
But he can do it for 8 years, then you can do it for 8, and you can do it for 8. Next thing you know, you're 30 years sort of the same story.
Right.
If you just have one person, which is me, I just go, I can't tell this same story. We did it. It was in the 97 movie. You want the origin? Go see that movie.
Yeah.
You want to just see something that will just go, what the hell was that?
I do, man.
Dude, that's messed up. That's what I'm trying for.
I think the fact that you mentioned a movie like Logan, which isn't an origins tale, it's old man Wolverine, right? And that's what everybody was clamoring for. Now that's the rated R version, the adult version, the version that throughout the entire history and sagas of the times we've seen X-Men Wolverine in movies, it's to the point now where he's a grown-up, right? He's made that journey. And with the same thing with the 97 Spawn to now, he's not that person that he was back then. He's an all-new, not talking badass.
Yeah, and like I said, we've got an upcoming Venom movie, right?
Right.
And that's going to be R-rated. And I hope, from my perspective, I hope they do it right.
Yes.
And what right is to me is that Venom should scare you. When I created Venom, he was a monster. That's what he is he is a monster first, a man second. And so if they deliver that movie, I will be the loudest applaud. I hope they deliver it. And either way, I hope it does good, because my movie will be coming hopefully out a few months after that, and I'll be able to go, from the co-creator of Venom comes. And then people go, wow, I saw that movie. I'm going to go see this thing called, what is it called? Spam? Prawn? What is it called? Spawn. Oh, Spawn. Yeah, I'll go see it. Right.
Thrawn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about the Venom suit is that he didn't actually have to wear clothes. Remember, you could just wear like a Gucci suit. The Venom suit can be anything you wanted.
Yeah.
So you think, I hope they do that in the movie.
Right.
That's everything that you said not to do.
Yeah. Here's a fun fact of how the creation of Venom came along. It came along twofold. One, they asked me to take over Spider-Man.
Okay.
Right. And so when I took over Spider-Man, my career was going up. I looked at it, and he was in this black costume. Right? And I'm going, black and white, although it's my shirt today. But I go, black and white. I go, that's not Spider-Man. I don't really have any interest in drawing this. So I go, well, we got issue 300 coming up. Is there any chance we can get the costume back? And then they went, oh, well, we'll just talk to the writer. Yeah, I'm sure we can get the costume back. I'm like, oh, cool, because that's Spider-Man to me, right? And if you look at issue 300, to me, the best day I had on that issue was the last page, because bam, it was,
boom, he's right there.
It was the costume, right? Which is why I did issue 300 through 1 was the same, because I go, what do you mean I got to put him in the black costume on the cover of 300? So I go, now I'm going to do the same cover, and I was doing my variant, but there was no variant back there,
then.
right? So anyways, they said, well, people like the costume, and it's around the black costume. And I go, well, just put it on somebody else, right? Just put it on somebody else. So then very quickly they said, well, okay, well, we'll just move the costume over to somebody else. Let's just come up with another character, and then that'd be cool. We can go back to it. So they go and design it, Todd. So I went and designed it, and David McFarlane, who's a writer, gave me a couple notes, but not that much, didn't say much. And so to me, I'm going, well, it's an alien costume. So I thought he was an alien. I thought he was a monster. So I made him big with the big teeth, gnarly like a gorilla and stuff. And he's this thick compared to Spider-Man, who's this thick. So even just a silhouette would be like very formidable. And then about 2 weeks later, David hands me the script, and it says, oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, it's Eddie Brock. And I went, what? That design I just did, is there's supposed to be a human in it? I would have designed that way differently. So these are where happy accidents happen.
Wow.
If they had told me it was Eddie Brock, the design of Venom would have been completely different.
Would it have been a different color? Or
No, but I would have been starting with a human. I would have been starting with a human. I would have started with a human.
And this other. Oh,
I was starting with Alien in my head. I'm going, it's an alien costume.
Symbiotic suit. You're
we're going to do big. We're going to do crazy. We're going to do it. And so afterwards, I went, well, I'm not going to redesign it. Dude, so you figure out how this little guy can get into this big thing here.
That's amazing.
And they went. And again, you just sometimes trip into happy accidents.
You reimagined several characters, like, believe it or not, Wendigo. I like how you did Wendigo. Yeah, man.
Yes.
He looks so silly back in Hulk 181. That's where I first saw him. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, you're reimagining of him in your Spider-Man run.
So here's the silly thing that you do. Even
right that's how he used to look, all the way down in the corner. People forget that's the first appearance of the world's first Canadian superhero, Wolverine.
Yeah, hey, Canadians here? Any Canadians?
Wow, that's the first time the crowd went silent. My bad.
There's not one
let's
Canadian here.
Let's show the audience how Wendigo, your version of Wendigo.
Later at Marvel,
there's yours.
This guy called The Weeknd is a Canadian will be here, so I'll buddy up with him.
Okay, look at yours, man.
Now here's the thing. I doing writing and or creating is very lonely. You're in a room by yourself with your thoughts for 12 hours.
Right.
So everything I did, I was just trying to entertain myself, right? So everything I looked at, I just egotistically just went, I don't care how they're doing it. I just want to do it, I'm going to do my cool version of it. So what was cool for me so I could get through the deadline. Monsters should have matted hair, and their teeth should be yellow.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be in line. Look at your dog. Your dog you have to take to the groomers. Why? Because it rolls in crap, and nobody combs it, and it doesn't brush his teeth. So think about an animal that never has even a human master to it. It even gets more grungy.
Right.
So all monsters should be gnarly to me, right? I mean, and again, I just like monsters as a whole. And that story really was about pedophiles. He was that movie was about pedophiles because they blamed it on the monster.
Right.
But the destruction was being done by a sheriff.
That was over my head when I was 12. Sorry, I didn't understand any of that part. I got to go back. Right. I got to go back and understand.
But it was the same thing with Spider-Man. I made the big eyes and stuff, and what I did, and I've simply told people before, I thought when I took over Spider-Man, they were doing Spider-Man, and when I took it over artistically, I made it Spider-Man. I made the emphasis on Spider, where I thought before the emphasis was on man, man. And so to me, and you guys know it, once he puts that costume on, he just becomes a bug. I didn't care about anatomy, to the point that when Sam Raimi was doing the first movie, he goes, hey, because I had some buddies that worked on it. They went, hey, we want to do it like McFarlane. We want to do this cool stuff. And so they got some people in, some of the stunt people come in, and they go, here's the poses, go. And they couldn't get it. So they went, oh, no, go get some double jointed people. And they came and they went, no. And they got the triple, and they went, no.
Double jointed,
and then they even brought in some people from Circus du Soleil.
Circus Soleil.
Right? And those people are contortionists. Yeah. And they went, it's still
not working.
It's still not. So they went, we just got to do it in the computer.
Okay,
right? And
CG
so they
it up.
Right, they had to CG it up. So that's how disrespectful I was to the anatomy when Peter Parker put it in. And so to me, I just go, he's a bug, which is why I created the webbing, so that the webbing was there for two reasons. One, so I could shoot it towards camera, and it would look like something. It looked like rope going, fraying as it went away. Because before it was just 3 lines with X's, and if you ever try to do 3 lines with X's bigger towards camera, it just looks like big X's. It's horrific. Some people actually tried it artistically. It was horrific. I should put them up on my website. So I remember when I saw those, I go, why can't somebody make it look real, right?
Wow.
So that was it. Oh, by the way, when you're drawing, you've got a 2-dimensional piece of paper, and you're trying to do 3D. You're trying to confuse people that they're looking at depth, even though it's flat. So by him going just in the body pose, and then the webbing going here, and then behind him and through his arm, he didn't have a cape. He did not have the cape. The easiest way to create volume is the characters with capes. I love capes.
Yeah,
So
right.
So that wasn't an accident. So that was part of it. There was all of that, and then but they would call me into the office and they just beat me down, going, "Stop it! You can't do this. He's our icon. He's our icon."
For Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Here's why he was their icon, not in the comic books, because they would say stuff like, "You understand? He's on our stationery." You understand? You understand? He's on our checks.
He's on a trapper keeper.
He's
on
the
everything.
checks,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And he's on the reports, the quarterly reports.
Yeah.
You're messing with him,
You're
Todd.
messing with everything.
And you go and they just go, "You can't do this," and it was just like,
Did they give you flack for? I think. Well, your comics were the first time I ever saw his mask being ripped off and blood dripping out of his face. That
Right.
Was, yeah. But like, did they give you flack for that? That was iconic.
No,
man.
look at it. At our heart, we're all just geeks. We're all geeks. And when you're in a room, you just have to geek out. And so here's how I geek out. I go, how can a guy get punched by Dr. Doom's steel fist and in the morning not be bruised? It doesn't make any sense to me. So I just go, no, he should be waking up after these fights, even if his costume doesn't get torn, and he should be like, take off the mask. He should have like a black eye and a swollen lip, like all of. I mean, I punch you right now, you're going to get swollen. So if it was a steel fist, it sure as heck would. But then I always ask, what are those lenses made out of?
Yeah.
It can't be cloth.
Carbon fiber.
It can't be, well, now they've come up with the answer. But back then, there was like nobody had the answer. And I go, and I take the curtains, and I go, I can't see shit.
Okay,
so
yeah.
I go, can't be cloth.
I want
so
that
I go,
picture.
I'm gonna make it glass. I thought of it like headlights on a car.
Okay,
so
cool.
So there were some scenes there, especially when I was writing it, when it tore and the lenses cracked. It wasn't like this tore and this tore. It tore and cracked. To me, they were two different materials. So it was just goofy, dumb. It was just goofy, dumb stuff to get me through it. To just go, this would be cool.
Pretty awesome.
No.
That goofy, dumb stuff was pretty awesome.
Yeah,
man.
and here's the frustrating part, is that during that time they were just like, Todd, don't. Now here's what I said in every one of those meetings. Okay. I'll stop.
Yeah.
But I never did, right? I never did, right? And so again, rule number one to all adolescents: whatever your mom and dad say, always say yes. It's just way easier.
It works way easier.
Yeah, because it take 2 months before they check to see whether you were right or not. So I did it, and then eventually the sales were going up and up and up and up and up, and then I think they finally threw their hands up, and they just he just never going to listen to us.
Right.
But the accountant said, but he's selling more books than anybody else. Why? And that was my conversation. You don't have to like me. You don't have to like my attitude. You don't have to like my drawings.
Yeah.
Like that money.
You hire me to sell books. I am doing it better than any employee in this corporation, and I am here being the one that's being taken down. So I just, which is eventually why I left. But here's the funny thing: all those things they told me no.
Yeah.
They're all still there.
They're all still there.
As a matter of fact,
very
in
much.
an odd way, the young kids are coming in, and without them saying, they're sort of going, do it like Todd. And so, here's why this frustrates me. Because how do you not know that the next kid to come along might be able to, if you gave him more freedom, might not do it 10 times better than me? And it might be 10 times cooler and 10 times more entertaining to you. Why put people in a box
Right.
all
No,
the
you
time?
shouldn't. No.
I don't get it. Doesn't make any sense.
Well, do you think the box helped you be more creative? Did you like those restrictions? You're metal, man. Dude, I know it. You're a punk. You even say, I want a punk-ass director, sponsor.
I'm not metal.
You're not metal.
No, I'm
Come on,
as
man.
fun.
There's a picture of Violator ripping a dude's heart out and eating it. Come on, man. You're going to tell me that's not metal.
You know what? I think people would be disappointed if
With
they
how
sort
calm
of
you are?
at how I get motivated, right? So when I write,
okay.
I can't listen to music with words because again you're writing words, so to me I can't process these words and these words. So I need like music scores and soundtracks. I just need music. And so when I'm writing, especially when I'm doing like the movies and stuff like that, I put on the headset. And here's the thing my wife still doesn't get it too. I don't listen to songs. plural. I listen to a song. One song for the last 10 years.
10 years, one song.
And here's, I don't know if you guys know this. You can go to YouTube. You can dial your song. I don't know if you guys know this. If you right-click, you can go to loop.
Yeah.
If you click loop, it will just play the song over and over and over and over. So what happens is I put it on and I will listen to it.
Gundam style.
Is it that one?
That's why it's got like
Is it
100
Gundam
bazillion
style?
views.
Is it Gundam style?
No, I don't think every time it loops it gets it. But, but for me, by the end of the day, I probably listened to it 400 times.
Jeez.
Right?
What is it? Tell me. Or do you want to keep it in suspense?
What is the song?
Because it might motivate these people because it works for me.
Okay, all right.
It's the piano song from Titanic that's called Rose's Song. Right? And
Really? I'm shocked.
As a matter of fact, every time I go to YouTube, it's the first thing that pops up.
Your algorithm. You got algorithm, yeah.
So, and it's weird because it's now my dog whistle. So no matter what mood I'm in or whatever, I was like, I got to do some writing. It's 2 in the morning. I've got to get it done. I've got a deadline. I just put that on and I hear that and I snap.
See, yeah.
And I snap because this is my writing music. It's the one song. I've written every word to that one song and I just go.
Amazing.
My wife goes, I don't get it.
That's the most unmetal song in the history of songs.
Oh, but here's what happens is that at some point it's white noise. I don't even know I'm listening to it, and it just gets me into. Then I can do the gnarly. Yeah. Because now I'm relaxed and I get to do the gnarly. And so James Horner, who's no longer with us, if you guys like the movie, I tip my hat to James Horner. He's the one that inspires me. So and Titanic.
So real quick, I have a question for you. Okay, so real quick, I have some dream matches that I'd like to see who would win in a fight. You might know these characters. So the first one that's going to come up here real quick. All right. I want to see who. Who do you think would win? This is Sexy Spawn, by the way. He's smoking. Spawn or Venom? Who's going to win that fight?
Spawn. And here's why.
Here's why.
I always created Spawn to be as big and as strong as Superman, but I gave him an Achilles heel that he can't use those powers willy-nilly. So Spawn would take him out, but it takes so much power to take him out, he'd probably be dead about 2 days later because he used too much energy. He'd win and then be dead.
The death clock. Okay, so here's another one.
Okay.
All right. Spawn versus Prowler.
Spawn versus Prowler. That would be Spawn. What is Prowler? What are you talking about? Prowler's a wussy.
Okay.
Prowler, and just so people understand, I've had people say, Todd, it looks like the Prowler, whatever. I created Spawn when I was 16. I didn't even know who the Prowler was when I created Spawn. Spawn's costume, just so you know, a 16-year-old created it, has every single trapping that a 16-year-old would come up with in the 70s. A mask, chest marks, boots, gloves, a belt, and a cape. It was just it was by the book designed as a 16-year-old, and I never changed it. So.
One more. Spawn versus big-chested Captain America.
That's
the big-chested one. The Leafield one. The big-chested Cap.
Guys,
look at the skeleton figure. You can see the skeleton of him. Look at that body. Do you think Spawn can take him?
Wow. You know what? We used to call him Man Boobs America right there, right? So, and Rob at this point, when this came out, Rob was again partners at Image.
Right.
Woo, did he take a lot of flack for that one drawing? He took a lot of flack for that one. So
you're saying Captain America wins because of the chest?
Never skip chest.
No, because what you do is you get the head in here and then you flex and you go and you pop Spawn's head like a zit.
Wow. So, thank you so much, Todd, for coming out here, man. What a great time. Where else can we find more info? Do you have any more last info for people to check out your stuff?
No, but Kevin Smith and I are working on a Sam and Twitch TV series. We just met the head people at BBC America and AMC, and they were charmed by us, if you can imagine. Because we're both
delighted.
We're very sort of shy people.
Yeah, socially awkward.
And so they said in November they're going to give us the final yay or nay. It seems hard to believe they're going to bring the presidents from a couple companies, take us out to dinner so they can say no. But again, they're a corporation. They have to find money. They have to figure out their matrix, all this sort of boring stuff. So we got our fingers crossed, and we'll go have a little bit of fun with that. And then I've got another show at Showtime that hopefully we're going to be able to announce here pretty quick.
Amazing.
Too. Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the legendary Todd McFarlane, thank you so much. And we'll be back here with more coverage.